Hey mamas, Ayo here. Today we'll explore yoga poses that can help with symptom relief. In pregnancy, there are so many changes that happen in our body, but there are yoga poses that we can take that can ease the discomfort just a bit. So this video in particular will focus on what we can do to relieve tummy trouble, heartburn, and hemorrhoids. As always, check with a doctor to make sure the practice is right for you, and jump on in.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yoga Pre-Natal, Yoga Pre-Natal, Yoga Pre-Natal. Sing okay.
I'm standing here on my mat, and you may notice that I have a lot of props around, but for the most part, my props are just household items. So if you like, you're welcome to have a chair nearby. You're welcome to have a block, or if you don't have that, even just grab a few blankets or cushions, and that'll help you get all set. And what we'll be doing, I'll take you through 5 different pregnancy symptoms that are all somehow connected to tummy trouble, heartburn, hemorrhoids, and we'll practice 2 or 3 yoga poses for each symptom that can help you. Now, you don't need to do all of the poses if you're experiencing one of these symptoms, but that way you have options. So let's jump on in, let's get started. So the first symptom that we're going to be exploring and tackling is often one of the first ones to pop up in pregnancy, which is morning sickness and nausea. So 3 poses that we can take, and the first one is a wide-legged forward bend. Now, if you're really feeling unwell, the idea of even partially inverting may not feel so great for you. So today I'll be kind of setting up the pose with you and demoing on a chair. You could also take a forward bend against the wall. So standing tall, you can be standing on your mat, left foot left and right foot right. Let's roll our shoulders back and down, turn our palms to face forward, and just start out by setting up our breath. Breathing deeply in. And exhale, release. And breathing deeply in. And exhale, release. And just one more time, starting to connect with your breath and your body, breathing in. And exhale, release. Now with our inhale, we can stretch our arms to shoulder height, reach your fingers away from your shoulders, and then exhale, place your hands on your hips. As you inhale, open the chest, look up, and as you exhale, hinge forward from your hips. And again, there's 3 options here. 1 is to release your hands down to the mat, down to a block, just breathing here, releasing head and neck, focusing on the breath. So you can be here on your mat. A second option, of course, is this same pose, a wide-legged forward bend, folding forward onto a chair. And then the third variation is the same concept, but folding forward toward a wall. So wherever you are, both to provide a little bit of on-the-spot relief and also to build that sense of muscle memory, of remembering what that feels like, of experiencing the pose. Let's breathe together here for 5. And breathing 4. For 3. And breathing 2. Now one more full deep breath here. If your hands are on the chair or the wall, you can just start to walk your hands up the chair, up the wall, help you come to an upright position. Otherwise, with hands on hips, inhale, stand tall, look up, let the thighs lightly squeeze together to help you regain stability. And exhale, look forward. So that was our first pose for the symptom relief of nausea and morning sickness. We got 2 more for you lined up. So the second pose is butterfly. We take butterfly pose by sitting on our mat. And you may be most comfortable sitting with your hips propped up a bit higher. So I'm going to place a block under my sit bones, and I'll turn and kind of rotate to a profile view so you can see a little bit better. So I'm sitting on a block, or you can sit on a blanket or a cushion at home. We bring our feet together and our knees are apart. We take a full breath in, and as we exhale, we fold forward. Breathing here, full deep breaths. Now your hands can be on the mat for support. If you feel comfortable and you're not experiencing any dizziness, you could walk your hands further away. Or again, if that release of the head isn't feeling right for you right now, then you can keep your torso long and even bring a chair closer. So here, I'll pop this baby a bit closer to demonstrate what I mean. And you can just drape your upper body over the chair while your lower body remains in butterfly pose. So something like this, gentle, supported, hopefully feeling good if you had that early pregnancy or sometimes any time in pregnancy, morning sickness and nausea. Let's breathe another 4. And breathing 3. For 2. And breathing 1. Either walking your hands back toward your body or placing your hand on the edge of that chair. Inhale, sit tall, look up. And exhale, look in front of you. So that was our second pose for morning sickness and nausea relief. Our third pose is child's pose. So I'll pop this chair just off the mat. And generally in pregnancy, we're taking a wide-legged child's pose. So what does that mean? One knee opens to one side and another knee opens to the other side. You can sit back on your feet. If this is too much of a stretch for the tops of your feet, take a little blanket and roll it up, just placing it by the ankle. And that really gives a lot of support. That makes the stretch attach more gentle. So breathing here, let's draw a full breath in as we look up. And then as you exhale, you can just begin to fold forward. Now breathing here, if you're already, for example, third trimester, you got quite the tummy going on, then you can stay propped up on your elbows and just release the head, release the neck. Sometimes it's really nice to take a blanket or a block and just place it underneath your forehead for support. If you're in your first or second trimester, then maybe just extending your hands forward. So this is often called child's pose. And then there's a sweet variation called baby pose, where your arms are kind of behind you. I prefer child's pose in prenatal practice, just because hands in front of you, especially if you're third trimester, if you're further on, can provide more support. So let's breathe wherever you are. For another 4. And breathing 3. For 2. And breathing 1. Gently working your way back up toward your hands and walking yourself back toward a vertical position. You can bring your knees together. And we hit the first symptom. That's it. We did it. Those are 3 poses that can help with morning sickness and nausea. Yes. Okay, so the second one we're going to explore today, these are all very sexy topics. Bloating and flatulence. I know, for example, in this pregnancy, before I was even done with my first trimester, I looked super pregnant. Like people were already coming up and wishing me like congratulations and best of luck and things like that. And I was only maybe like 8 weeks pregnant or 9 weeks pregnant, but the bloating was so intense that my tummy just seemed so round. So if you're looking for relief for bloating or flatulence caused by pregnancy, here are 2 or 3 poses that could really help you. So the first one is actually hero's pose. So just like in child's pose, hero's pose also has us sitting on our shins with the top of our feet on the mat. Now again, some ways to make it more supportive. I already showed you how you can place a blanket underneath the ankles if the stretch for the tops of your feet feels like a bit too much. If, for example, you're feeling an uncomfortable stretch or sensation by the knees or just above the knees, then you might enjoy stacking some blankets between the heels and the sit bones to just give a little bit more lift and support. But even if you're totally cool hanging out in hero's pose, one of my favorite modifications is to take a blanket or a block and just prop it between the legs for the sit bones. That's nice. I'm actually gonna even do 2 blocks. Live large, why not? Awesome. So breathing here, we've created a sense of opening, a sense of spaciousness, and especially if you're later on in your pregnancy, then you've also created space for the tummy, space for the baby to stay and breathe. So you can rest your hands on your thighs, either palms facing up or down, whatever feels good for you. And we'll breathe together here, breathing away the bloating and the flatulence. For another 4. And breathing 3. For 2. And breathing 1. As you inhale, you can open your eyes. And as you exhale, gently moving your blocks or blankets toward the side. What else can we do if we're dealing with bloating and flatulence? We can lay on down and start to actually focus on the area of the tummy. So if you are about 20 weeks along or further, if you're like at the midpoint of your pregnancy or further along, rather than laying flat on your back, you may want to lay on a bolster, or just to use some kind of common household items here, you can just place a couple of blankets, a pillow, and we're just creating a ramp-like sensation so that way you're not laying flat on your back. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the idea is just shoulders above hips, creating a sort of incline or slope. So you can ease your way back to laying on down. Let's see, and get adjusted here. All right, that feels pretty good. Yeah, that's even better. Okay, and the first pose that we're gonna take, laying on our back, is half wind release pose. So let's lengthen your left leg, and you can hug your right knee into the chest. And if your first trimester, maybe that thigh, that right thigh, is coming straight to your tummy. If, like me, you're a little bit further along, this leg may actually need to open out on a diagonal just to create space for baby. We don't want any compression. So breathing here, hugging that right thigh toward your chest, toward your tummy. You can close your eyes and just start to feel, to notice the way that your tummy rises up to connect with your thigh with every breath in. And then the way it releases back down again with every breath out. Now let's breathe together on this first side for another 3. And breathing 2. 1 more full deep breath in. And with the exhale, just gently first return the right foot to the mat. We want to be nice and gradual. Then you can begin to draw your left thigh into the chest. We're bringing our hands to draw left knee toward the tummy, or in my case, or for any of you who are already kind of rocking a pronounced tummy, you bring it over to the side and release the right leg long. Now again, closing your eyes here and just feeling that sense of connection between tummy and thigh on the inhale, and maybe a bit of release on the exhale. We'll breathe. Another 3. And breathing 2. 1 more full breath in. With the exhale, again, everything gradual. We're just gonna return that left foot to the mat. And then we're gonna draw the right knee to point back up toward the ceiling. And the third and final pose in this category of how do we relieve bloating, how do we relieve flatulence, is full wind release pose. So that's when we're bringing both thighs toward the tummy. So you can gently hug. Here, I'm just gonna adjust the blanket, feel a little better for my back. Hugging your thighs both in, and again, maybe it's more parallel for first trimester, or maybe it's more open for second and third trimester. And just breathing here, full deep breaths. Another 4. And breathing 3. Another 2. And breathing 1. Now you can let your knees gently fall to the side or place your feet on the mat, scooching hips over, scooching knees over, using your hands to gently bring you back to an upright position. And I want to mention that you can spend as long as you like in these poses. Sometimes it's nice to spend even 3 to 5 minutes in each pose, rather than 3 to 5 breaths. This video is kind of somewhere between explanatory and a practice video. So this will give you the skills, and then you can practice on your own to bring relief to whatever symptoms you're experiencing. Okay, so the third category, 3 of 5 we're doing today, under the category of tummy trouble, is constipation. So what do you do if all of a sudden everything just seems to slow down and stop up inside and it's not feeling so good? So we're actually gonna stand on up. Move these to the side. See you later, pillow. See you later, blankets. Okay, so we're standing up. And one of the things that we want to do when we're experiencing constipation is to make space, to create space. So we're standing here, your feet can be a touch wider than hips distance apart, and we take a position called palm tree. What does that mean? It's kind of like mountain pose, but the difference is that we inhale our arms up toward the sky, and as we exhale, we interlace our fingers. And then inhale, you can just press your arms up for a moment, it feels good. And exhale, place your hands behind your head, draw your elbows open, and just breathe here. Palm tree, simple. Full deep breath, gaze is neutral. Generally, our tailbone is released, though if it feels good in this pose, open your chest. You can allow for a slight arch of the back as long as it doesn't cause low back discomfort. Breathing here for 4. And breathing 3. For 2. One more full deep breath. Inhale, reach your arms and eyes up. And exhale, collect your palms together at heart center. Inhale, roll your shoulders back and down. And exhale, release your hands by your side. The second pose that we take is down, grounded on our mat. So you can come down to your knees, and we continue with a pose called stargazer. Some people call it wild thing. It's known by different names in different circles. But standing on our knees, let's open your right leg to the side. You can place your left hand on the mat under your left shoulder, or if this creates a sense of compression, then place that left hand on a block, on a blanket, on something just to give you a little more space. And we inhale that right arm up to the ceiling, and maybe on the exhale, you can even take that right arm overhead. And breathing here, play with it. This could be kind of, what's the word? You can keep your body kind of in a square alignment, or add a sort of heart expanding, hips forward, shoulders back, breathing here, full deep breaths, looking up if you can. Stargazer for 4. And breathing 3. For 2. One more full breath here. Now releasing the head down for a moment, inhale, let's come back to a vertical position, and exhale, you can bring your right knee in, pass the block if you're using one to your second hand, and extend your left leg out, stargazer on the second side. So planting that block or your hand underneath your right shoulder. Inhale, left arm up, And as you exhale, maybe taking that left arm all the way overhead, pressing hips slightly forward, shoulders slightly back, looking up, elongating, extending, breathing for another 4. And breathing 3. Another 2. One more full deep breath. Inhale, standing up tall, and exhale, bring the left knee in, and we're gonna come to sit down on our mat. The last pose that we explore for relief of constipation is an open twist. So facing the front of your mat, again, you can sit propped up on your block if you like. Right leg is long, left knee is bent, left foot connects to the right thigh. Inhale, sit extra tall, and exhale, take your left hand to support behind your back on the mat, and your right hand can either cross to the left knee, or again, if that feels like it's causing any compression, just place the hand on the mat between your long right leg and your bent left knee. Inhale, sitting tall, and exhale, looking back over your right shoulder, maybe keeping that left foot active and flexed. Breathing here, engaging, giving a little internal massage to the digestive organs for another 3. And breathing 2. One more full deep breath in. And exhale, unwind, release to face forward, and release that right leg. Let's try the second side together. So, hugging now, for you it was the left leg, hugging your right leg now in toward the chest, open your right knee to the side. Inhale, sit extra tall, elongate, and exhale, bring your right hand behind your back. Left hand crosses to the right knee, or just to the mat in that open space. Sitting tall, left foot active, looking back over your right shoulder. Breathing together for another 3. And breathing another 2. One more full deep breath here. And with your next exhale, you can unwind to face forward, releasing your right leg. And that was what we do for constipation. All right, 4th symptom out of 5 that we're tackling in this video. The 4th symptom is heartburn. So we are going to stand on, boom, 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 making our way to standing. And we're setting up Exalted Mountain. Generally, what we want to do for heartburn is things that create length in our body, heart opening, chest opening. So standing here, feet are separated, hips distance apart. Inhale, sweep your arms and eyes up. And exhale, open your arms in a V, stand tall. Feel your heels rooting down. Feel all 10 toes active, belly button lifting up and in, tailbone slightly releasing. Full deep breath, shoulders can soften, but just being in your body with your breath for another 4. And breathing 3. Another 2. Now one more full breath in. With the exhale, we're just gonna release our hands and bring them behind our back. Interlacing your fingers, inhale, roll your shoulders back, open your chest, and exhale, release the head and look up. And this brings us to our second pose for heartburn relief. Just a nice gentle chest opener. Breathing here for another 3. And breathing 2. One more full breath. For the sake of symmetry, let's inhale arms to shoulder height or all the way up to the ceiling. And exhale, bring your hands again behind your back. This time, move each finger over one spot. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, open the chest. Exhale, release the head, lifting the gaze. Breathing here for 3. And breathing 2. One more full deep breath. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, palms together. Inhale, roll shoulders back and down, and exhale, release the hands. So really anything that's creating space, that's chest opening, tends to provide some relief. I know for me during this pregnancy, there were a couple of times I was experiencing heartburn, and though this is not a yoga pose, what I ended up doing is taking just kind of like a shot full, like a spoonful of apple cider vinegar, and that really settled my tummy and settled the heartburn, this kind of acid neutralizing acid type effect. So you can give that a try and see if that works for you. I know that it worked for me. Okay, our last category for this video is hemorrhoids. What do you do for hemorrhoid relief, prevention, and so forth? So we'll start out on hands and knees with kind of a very classic pose of cat-cow. Our hands are under our shoulders. Our knees are under our hips, or maybe a touch further back to create space for baby. And spreading your fingers wide and lightly engaging your core. Inhale, you can look up, lightly opening the chest. And exhale, round and contract belly button toward the spine, engaging the core. And inhale, opening. And exhale, rounding and contracting, engaging. Breathing another 3. Each inhale we open, and each exhale we round. And breathing another 2. Now one more full deep breath. And walking your hands back to your body, you can come to stand on your knees as you inhale, and just release the position as you exhale. Now the last pose, or maybe the second to last pose that we'll do for relief today, is puppy pose. I love puppy pose, I'm obsessed. In addition to providing relief for pregnancy symptoms, it's just an amazing shoulder opener. So what exactly is puppy pose? How is it different than child's pose? In puppy pose, our knees are separated, and rather than sitting back on your heels, our hips stay aligned over our knees. So we take a full breath in, and as you exhale, you can begin to walk your hands forward and just let your chest and forehead release. Breathing here for 5. And breathing 4. Breathing 3. And breathing 2. One more full deep breath. With your inhale, gently walk your hands back under your shoulders, coming back into a sort of tabletop. And then with your exhale, you can bring your knees together and return to sitting on your mat. Now, once the pregnancy is over, something else that you can do for hemorrhoids are shoulder stands and plow pose. I don't necessarily recommend them during pregnancy. Each trimester has its own reason. Unless you've been doing an active yoga practice for a while and you feel totally confident in your shoulder stand and plow. But otherwise, that's something I'll aim to introduce in our postnatal series. And that's it. We covered, morning sickness and nausea, bloating and flatulence, constipation, heartburn, hemorrhoids. If you're dealing with any of these things, hopefully one or more of these poses can help or provide relief, or at least feel really good in your body. So let me know how it goes for you. Feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, thanks so much for your practice, mamas. Hope you feel great. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.